All right, guys, it's time for tonight's Tool Time Award, and tonight we're giving it to GOP presidential candidate Mitt Romney. Now, the former Massachusetts governor is polling pretty steadily in Republican primaries across the country, although there definitely is a little bit of a sense that voters want anybody but him. But he is doing quite well in the fundraising department, so you know what the establishment's thinking. And in fact, he's raised far more than any other GOP presidential hopeful. Remember earlier this year how Romney got a $1 million donation from an organization that just suddenly ceased to exist the next day? Well, that's not the only notable donation that the Romney camp has gotten. Back in July, the Washington Post reported that a good chunk of his funds came from his buddies on Wall Street, like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and Bank of America. 75% of his donations up until July of this year came from people who gave the max amount possible, $2,500. And his coffers were also stuffed with money thanks in large part to lobbyists. In fact, 61 registered lobbyists and 5 PACs contributed almost $140,000 to his campaign just in the first 6 months of this year. And then check this out. Romney's donations from lobbyists actually come to more than all of his GOP counterparts combined. And though on the topic of PACs, Romney's got that area covered. As we first told you months ago, the super PAC Restore Our Future was actually created by several former aides to the presidential candidate, several of his good buddies who all gave generous contributions through that medium as well. And apparently he thinks that his super PAC collecting money is from a person. Just take a look at Romney speaking on the campaign trail a few months ago. He really was taking the opportunity to embrace the Citizens United ruling.
Corporations are people, my friend. We can raise taxes on, of course they are. Everything corporations earn ultimately goes to people. So, where do you think it goes?
All right, so by now everybody knows that Romney likes to rub elbows with those that can financially prop up his campaign. They're his people. But everybody also knows that Romney is one of the biggest flip-floppers to ever grace the GOP stage. And his stance on campaign donations is no exception. Check out this video of Romney from back in 1994 when he was running for U.S. Senate.
To get that kind of money, you've got to cozy up as an incumbent to all of the special interest groups who can go out and raise money for you from their members. And that kind of relationship has an influence on the way you're going to vote. But these kinds of associations between money and politics, in my view, are wrong. And for that reason, I would like to have campaign spending limits. I also would abolish PACs. You probably have one. I don't like them. I don't like the influence of money, whether it's business, labor, or any other group. I do not like that kind of influence.
No, you don't need to get your hearing checked. At one point, Romney was actually for limiting campaign donations, and he wanted to abolish PACs. So we can thank Think Progress for finding that little gem today. So good thing that he never had a chance to follow through with that, because otherwise, Romney might not be where he's at in the polls today. I mean, that's a real 180. He goes from wanting PACs to be abolished because money buys too much influence in politics to thinking that super PACs deserve the same rights as people. Let's add that to the long list of flip-flops that Mitt's made, like climate change, abortion, taking down Osama bin Laden, and those are just a few of the stances where we've seen him change his stance entirely. So for learning to embrace the shadowy influence of money in politics, so much that he now thinks that the PACs that he wanted outlawed deserve constitutional protections when they're super PACs, Mitt Romney wins tonight's Tool Time Award.